antiques and vintage things. You know me too well, I said. Where's the auction? What time? It starts at 10, she said, over near Gallows Hill. If we hurry, we can stop at the bank, get some cash and be there in time. Should we put a cap on how much we'll spend? How about we limit ourselves to $500, she said. $250 apiece? My semi-retired aunt is nicely set financially, thanks to a combination of old family money, New England frugality, sound investment advice, and decades of work as head reference librarian in Salem's main library. A generous inheritance from my parents' estate, and the insurance settlement from my race car driver husband Johnny Barrett's death 2 years ago, along with my own earnings as an instructor at Salem's newest school, provide nicely for me. We can each afford to take an occasional fling, like the proposed foray into the world of storage wars. A quick change of clothes, khaki cargo pants, and Tampa Bay Lightning t-shirt for me, navy capris, and a neat white shirt for my still slim and fit aunt, and we headed for the garage behind the house. Orion peeked from the window, maybe watching us, maybe focused on a lone blue jay. We never know what Orion is thinking. He used to be the pet of a witch named Ariel Constellation. Some say he was her familiar. In Salem, a witch's familiar is to be respected and sometimes feared. Unfortunately, I was the one who discovered Ariel's drowned body floating in Salem Harbor. Happily for us, my aunt and I were given custody of the quite remarkable, large, and beautiful yellow-striped cat. We decided to drive Aunt Ibby's big, sturdy Buick to the sale, leaving my less practical but definitely gorgeous Laguna Blue Stingray Corvette convertible behind. That old Buick's wide back seat and roomy trunk could hold a lot of stuff. If we buy anything too huge, I said, I'll call Pete. He's working nights this week, so I know he'll have time, and he can probably borrow his brother-in-law's truck. Police Detective Pete Mondello had become the main man in my life. I knew he'd agree to help out, even though he finds my admittedly eclectic taste in home furnishings a little odd. The parking lot, next to the long, box-like white building, was more than half filled when we arrived, and Aunt Ibby neatly maneuvered the car into a vacant space next to a chain-link fence. "Looks like the dealers are here," she said, pointing to a row of trucks and vans parked close to the building, a few of them marked with the names of local thrift and vintage stores. "Maybe $500 won't be enough." "I think it will be plenty," I said. "And even if we don't buy a locker, it'll be an interesting way to spend a couple of hours." "I guess you're right. Anyway, sometimes on the TV show somebody wins a really good locker for just a couple of $100. Her expression brightened. "Besides, I'm sure they have an ATM. I laughed. "You're incorrigible." We approached the main gate, joining about 30 people gathered there. Although during my growing up years my aunt had regularly cautioned me about never speaking to strangers, she'd always avoided following that rule herself. This day was no exception. "Excuse me," she said, addressing a man wearing a red t-shirt emblazoned with the word "Lucky" in big white letters. "Have you been to one of these sales before?"
"Sure thing," he said. "There's a sale somewhere just about every week. I get emails from the auctioneers, or see ads in the paper."
"This is our first time," Aunt Ibby confided. "Are most of these folks what you might call regulars?" He glanced around.
"I'd say about half and half. The people with second-hand stores show up all the time. Then there's the ones who come once in a while, just looking for big screens."